Yesterday, 5 minutes up the road from here, there was an anti-ICE, anti-Border Patrol protest at a UVU career fair, and it was organized by a group that also has been posting images depicting ICE agents being shot in the head. That doesn't seem troubling at all. Also, there was an interesting reaction to our conversation that we had yesterday on the word of wisdom, and it seems as though there's a lot of saints that want to be commanded in all things, and we're going to talk about it. My name is Jackson Wayne Paul, and welcome to Latter Daily Saints.
What power shall stay the heavens from pouring down knowledge from heaven upon the heads of the latter-day saints?
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, today we have actually a new guest on the platform. Britton, welcome.
What's up, guys? I'm normally not a political commentator. I'm just replacing Brando. Brando got fired, so.
Yeah. No one here is actually a political commentator, Britton. We are all just Latter-day Saints that are trying to look at the world and make sense of all this nonsense. But Britton, he's an awesome member of the Stick of Joseph Latter-day Saints team, so he's going to be joining us today. But a few things to start off, a lot of cool things coming up here. Actually, it was just announced this morning from the Church of Jesus Christ Instagram. If you want to pull this up, Britton, it says, "You are invited to watch President Dallin H. Oaks' first devotional address as the Lord's prophet." It's going to be February 10th at 11 a.m. So that should be awesome. Also, something cool coming up that we're actually putting on and sponsoring. The Stick of Joseph is hosting a lecture series called the Stick of Judah. Every single month this year, we're bringing on some sort of biblical scholar. This month, Dave Butler is hosting Stephen Smoot on Provost Center Street. All the address and everything, information is going to be in the link in the description, but it's going to be on Abraham the astronomer. So we're going to be doing an Old Testament lecture series. We only have about 100 spaces. I think there's still a few more spots. If you want to go reserve yours, you can get a ticket in the link below. But that'll be February 19th if you want to come. But hopping into this, Britton, did you go to UVU?
I did not. I went to USU, actually. So.
Okay. And just as a reminder, talking to the mic, Britton.
Yeah. Sorry, I did not.
You're good.
I went to USU.
Okay.
So, yep.
Cool. So if you want to click that first link here, I saw a bunch of this stuff on Twitter yesterday, and I have one of my buddies that actually goes to UVU, and he was sending me videos of this. But the article that's on Deseret News here, it says, UVU's ICE protest shows a lingering wound from Charlie Kirk's assassination. And so if we scroll down here, I'll read probably just the first paragraph, then we'll show you some other things. It says, Utah Valley University students gathered in the hallway outside the school's career fair on Wednesday to protest the Department of Homeland Security, which had representatives staffing a booth alongside more than 70 other organizations. The student group sponsoring the event, the Civil Disobedience Club, was formed last fall shortly after conservative activist Charlie Kirk was assassinated on campus on September 10th. So what you have here is this group, the Civil Disobedience Club, which at the sound of it doesn't sound harmless at all, you know, civil disobedience. Interesting. So they organized this, and God bless these DHS people that are, because look, we've gone over this before, and I have disagreed heavily with a lot of actions from some federal agents, but that doesn't mean that we should advocate for the abolishment of all federal law enforcement, especially these people that are specifically designated to locate, close with, and apprehend people that are not only in our country illegally, but are doing awful crimes, like we watched in the episode, I think 2 days ago, how people were impeding an ICE operation where they were trying to apprehend a child rapist, okay, that was illegally in our country. And so to say blanket statement across the board that all of these federal agents are engaging in wrongdoing and stuff is silly. And so to help you understand a little bit about the worldview that these people are coming from, if you want to click that next link, this is actually a tweet from Heidi from KUTV. She does some awesome stuff. But if you want to click on this, and sorry, this is explicit, okay? They have some swear words on these signs, but if we just zoom in there, we have the classic you know, very intelligent, ICE, and then that one right there. No one is illegal on stolen land. There we go, that famous phrase, the Billie Eilish. I wonder if that student is going to give his apartment or wherever he's living back to the Shoshone or the Navajo or whoever's, you know, the rightful owners of his land. And so that will kind of give you a peek into the worldview of where these people are coming from. And then there was an interview that a student actually did with one of the people that is in charge of this civil disobedience club. And a few of his words are pretty troubling. And so I just want to invite you to listen to what this guy has to say and think, is the worldview that he's coming at it from something that should be adopted by the masses? I think it's pretty troubling. But this is one of the organizers of this ICE protest.
On your Instagram that you, someone writing a depiction of an ICE agent getting shot in the head.
We actually erased that immediately as soon as we.
Then why did you post it on Instagram? You posted it on Instagram under your civil disobedience club.
We posted just pictures of the chat.
Yes, and you specifically chose that picture. Why did you choose that picture?
I didn't make that a secret.
Okay. So who controls the CDC account? The civil disobedience club account?
You know, man, I'm not going to tell you that information.
So it's you
coming at me very aggressively right now, and I don't think that
you are explicitly advocating for violence on campus.
No, we are not.
Then why are you posting pictures of ICE agents getting shot in the head?
Every single time that we do anything, we are explicitly tell everyone that we're peaceful. We draw peace signs.
While you're writing,
erased that image.
You spent a lot of time drawing it.
We didn't draw that. In fact, we had a sign.
Then why did you post it on your Instagram?
We are not doing chalk. The chalk was brought by other people.
Then why did you post it on your Instagram? You just accidentally posted a picture of an ICE agent getting shot in the head on your Instagram.
It's a vibe, man.
The vibe is murder. I suppose Bella Ciao is also the vibe. The same vibe that was written on the bullets that killed Charlie Kirk.
And?
You clearly agree with the sentiment.
I don't like fashion.
All right, you can pause it there.
I cannot like that.
Okay, so then Britton, if you want to scroll down, it has a screenshot of what they posted on Instagram. Just right, if you scroll down right there, pull that up. So basically they had some chalk art, and then on the Instagram of the Civil Disobedience Club that organized this protest against ICE at the career fair shows a chalk image of an ICE agent getting his head shot. And so then when he's pressed on this, shout out to whoever you are, Flat Ranger, for pressing on him, because he's like, oh, we didn't draw that. He's like, then why'd you post it? Okay. And then the ultimate answer was, it's a vibe, bro. It's a vibe. And then he said beforehand, he's like, we explicitly tell people that we are peaceful. We draw peace signs whenever we're doing. So Britton, let me just ask you this, okay? If I'm drawing a depiction on the ground of a federal agent getting his brains blown out, and then I tell you, hey, bro, don't worry, I'm peaceful. What are you going to think?
Dude, it's literally they're preaching violence. That's all they're doing.
Yeah. Here, when you talk, just you can pull the mic up. You're good.
But yeah, I just think they're just preaching violence. That's what they're out to do. I think they can say they're, going after peace, but that's not going to bring peace. So
yeah.
So I don't know, crazy, dude.
It's frustrating. And so to see that this is kind of the worldview these people are coming from, there's no one illegal on stolen land, that incoherent statement from the, protesters. And then we have one of the organizers of this event who their, organization is posting pictures of federal agents being unalived, as people say, is very telling of, what these people actually desire. And it's frustrating. And the fact that there's no repercussions for stuff like this is silly. And so, I don't know. Let me know what your guys' thoughts are in the comments. And it's concerning because we're seeing across not only the state of Utah, but in the United States, there are a bunch more protests happening at younger ages in schools, not just colleges, but high schools and even middle schools I've seen. And so And for example, I came across this one video of a day school in New York where some teachers organized with their little tiny children, toddlers, an anti-ICE protest. Okay, that's the state of what's happening right now. Britton, if you want to pull that up and hit play there.
Good afternoon. My name is Dr. Canton. I am the director here at the Chloe Day School here in Harlem, New York. As today is a national day of protest for all the violent things that we're seeing happening across our city, here at the Chloe Day School, we learn about service and acts of service from Martin Luther King. And so to end our month of service, it's too cold outside for us to go outside and protest. Our teachers cannot walk off the job and leave our children unsupervised. So today, we decided in solidarity, we will support all those who are out protesting against the violence that we see and the harm that we see happening to our friends. So some of our friends are going to share how they feel about what's happening and what they want to see happen in our government to change the harm that we see. So Sahad, how do you feel about what's happening?
I feel honored.
Right, and how do you feel? What did you tell us earlier?
I feel angry.
Because you don't like to see what?
I don't like to see when people are hurt or taken away from their family.
Right, and so Isabel and Amadi, what do we want to say? Stop the
Hating.
right. Okay, and my last three, Faith, Mariama, and Raya, what do we want to tell people?
Enough is enough. Stop hurting people.
And what do we want to say as a school?
Enough is enough. Stop hurting people.
Ms. Shadira, would you like to share your thoughts?
My thoughts are united, we're powerful, our words are strong, kindness is free. Let's do the right thing.
Miss Amy, would you like to share?
Just stop hating and be kind to one another.
Here at the Chloe Day School, we teach love, we teach kindness, and when we work together, we are a better world. Thank you. We're fighting with you, even though we're inside. Have a great evening. God bless.
Yeah.
All right, there. So we have Dr. Whatever her name was, all right? But she started off making sure everyone knew that she was a doctor. And then tell me, like, you as the viewer, do you think those kids are going to grow up to have respect for law enforcement if that's the... what I think of is it has a form of godliness, but it denies the power thereof, right? As it says in the scriptures. They're using all these messages of kindness, stop the hate, do the right thing, all these things in the name of abolishing and not obeying federal law enforcement, right? And so, again, it doesn't mean that we should have some tyrannical police state that's happening and people try to pose that as if that's the state of America. I don't agree with that. But when you have these adults spreading these messages to these children that have the form of godliness but deny the power thereof, weaponized empathy, I fear for the worldview that these kids are going to grow up with. But if I'm totally up in the night on that, let me know your thoughts. I think this is completely inappropriate and very disingenuous. So who knows? Moving on to some response that I want to give to a few comments that were put underneath not only our YouTube video from our episode yesterday, but also an Instagram video I did, further expounding on what I said in regards to the word of wisdom yesterday, how why coffee and tea are involved in the word of wisdom, and how verse 4 of the Revelation has everything to do with that, right? Because of the evil designs that will exist, that do and will exist in the hearts of conspiring men. And there were a couple, Britton, if you want to pull up here those comments that were kind of troubling to me. So there was one here, this is from Instagram, that, there we go, from Uani Unga 47. He says, pre-workout and energy drinks. Many can't function without them, but there's no restriction around them. And then another comment, if you scroll over, Brett. You're good. right there. It says, okay, but Mormons have a huge problem with soda. We know that a can of Sprite is worse than a cup of coffee, and there are a lot of Mormons that can't function without their daily soda. Okay, so this is a fair question, right? Energy drinks, are they better than a cup of coffee? Does 44 ounces of, Mountain Dew, is that better than a cup of coffee? No, it's not. In my personal opinion, okay? But the list of things that are bad for our bodies, right? At the time of Joseph Smith, I don't think people were injecting themselves with fentanyl. I don't think people were eating massive amounts of sugar and processed foods and stuff like that. But does it take someone telling us, giving us a list of do nots for us to not put those things into our body in amounts that are going to do great harm to us? For me, no. For me, no. And in response to comments like this, I just say Doctrine and Covenants, section 58, starting in verse 26, if we want to pull up scripture notes here. It says, "For behold, it is not meet that I should command in all things, for he that is compelled in all things, the same is a slothful and not a wise servant. Wherefore he receiveth no reward. Verily I say, men should be anxiously engaged in a good cause, and do many things of their own free will, and bring to pass much righteousness. For the power is in them, wherein they are agents unto themselves, and inasmuch as men do good, they shall in no wise lose their reward. But he that doeth not anything until he is commanded, and receiveth a commandment with doubtful heart, and keepeth it with slothfulness, the same is damned." Okay, so from what I gather from that is ultimately the word of wisdom, right? It has a couple different, it's multivalent, right? As we saw in verse 4 of section 89, it is to allow us to be free and not fall victim to the evil designs that will exist in the hearts of conspiring men in these the last days. But also so that we may run and not be weary, walk and not faint, that we can take care of our mortal tabernacles, the temples that God has given us. And so if you need them to come out with a massive list of all of these things that you cannot consume for you to take the principles that are given in the word of wisdom and actually apply them, then I feel sad for you. And that might sound a little extreme, but honestly, if you just read the label of one of these, monsters or anything like that, and if you drink that, that's your prerogative. I personally, I cannot see how going to swig or whatever every single day or multiple times to get a 44 ounce, whatever dirty soda, that is doing so much harm to your body. And I think that's an objective fact that we can all kind of get behind. All right. There's a lot of people that don't want to admit that because look, that we kind of have the, law of Moses mindset. Look, it's not in the 613 commandments there. So therefore it's good to go. Right. What did Jesus come to do? He came to give us the higher law, okay? And so what I think that is exactly what Joseph Smith said back in the day, that he teaches correct principles and he lets us, and we are to govern ourselves, right? And so I think that we, as members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, need to take responsibility and to see what the word of wisdom is trying to tell us, how we should take care of our bodies and not require some long list of, they need to come out in the next general conference and say X, Y, and Z are on the word of wisdom as well. I don't need someone to tell me that a drink with 50 grams of sugar and 300 grams of caffeine drunk multiple times a day is going to do bad for my body. Like I can do that for myself, right? And so that's my thoughts on it. I don't think that we need to be commanded in all things. And so I pray that we as a membership body can get away from that mindset of being like, kind of like the Jews of old of like, oh, it doesn't say it in the law, so therefore it's good to go, right? And finding all these loopholes and way around it when ultimately we're doing damage to our bodies, right? And so let me know what you guys think in the comments about that. DNC 58, 26 through 29 is my response to that. So I think that'll do it for today, honestly, but grateful that you guys are here. Excited we have a couple guests coming on. I think one tomorrow, we got one coming on tomorrow that is going to be super awesome, so stay tuned for that. And remember, if you're not looking at the world through a gospel lens, you're only getting half the story. God bless you.